Hi, Sasha. This book is for you. It's called Make a Change. Make a change. This thing says whites only. I wonder what kind of changes they're going to be making. Mama shook her head as she gazed at the whites only sign above a water fountain. One of these days, she said. One of these days, what, Mama? I asked. Things are gonna change. That's what she said. She grabbed my hand. Come on, Marvin. Let's find the boys' department. I tripped trying to keep up with her. Big, bold sign marked grand opening were plastered on the wall inside Rich's, the new department store in Knoxville. Don't they have a toy department? I asked. Mama ignored me and found a rack of pants. I leaned against a table. I hated shopping. Mama was never satisfied until I had tried on everything in the store. This time was no different. By the time we finally found a pair, my legs felt like rubber. Then we went downstairs. At the bottom of the escalator, I smelled it. French fries. Hey, look, I said, they've got a grill. Inside, a boy munched on a hamburger. A waitress carried a tray of sandwiches with fancy toothpicks perched on top. My stomach growled. I'm really hungry, I said, adding a quiver to my voice. I knew good and well we couldn't sit down at most of the restaurants in town. They had those whites only signs. But this was a new place, so maybe it was different. Mama looked uncertain, but walked inside. I ordered a sandwich and french fries, and she paid the cashier. While we were waiting, I sat on one of the swivel stools at the counter and turned back and forth. A white man with greasy gray hair watched me. He wasn't smiling. Another fellow, young enough to be the other's grandson, sat next to him eating a sandwich. The greasy grandpa slowly set his hamburger down. He rose from his chair and pointed a shaking finger to the sign behind the counter. Seating for whites only. Boy, your kind ain't supposed to be sitting down in here, the old man growled. About the time the waitress handed us a bag with my sandwiches, both men watched as we left. Why won't they let us sit down? I asked Mama for the millionth time. She never had a good answer. When some people look at us, all they see is our skin color, she said. They think they are better than us. Mama shook her head. One of these days. But I wasn't sure things were going to change. During dinner that evening, I talked about Rich's. Sandra, my older sister, lifted a wedge of cornbread from the skillet. People at school were talking about that. They said there's a mass meeting Saturday, Reverend Crutcher's church. I had been to a mass meeting once before. The speeches and singing had made us feel powerful enough to put stripes on a leopard. Can we go? I asked Daddy. He shrugged. Fine with me. At the meeting, one person after another talked about the lunch counter at Rich's. I'm never gonna shop there again. Let's do more than that. Let's pick it. But we gotta get permission from the city. Then let's get permission. I knew what it meant to picket a store. People marched outside with big signs to scare off shoppers. Reverend Crutcher's voice thundered in the sanctuary. We will not fight back, even if they throw stuff at us or hit us. At the end of the meeting, everyone sang, "Don't you hear the Spirit say, make a change?" But a few days later, we got bad news. The city wouldn't let us picket after all the bold talk at the mass meeting. We had failed. I decided I could live without the French fries at the new grill. On Saturday, Mama woke me up. You feel like praying today? Later that morning, we walked up Locust Street to Rich's. Lots of people were there. After Mama found a spot for us, we kneeled on the cold, hard concrete. She closed her eyes. I folded my hands and bowed my head, but I was too scared to shut my eyes. Sure enough, a white man came walking toward us, and it wasn't just any white man. It was the younger guy I had seen at Rich's eating with his grumpy old grandpa. I glanced at my mother, but her eyes were still closed. With my hands folded in front of me, I balled my right hand into a fist, ready to fight. The man came within 2 feet of me, and then his face broke into a smile. He waved and said, "Howdy." My right hand relaxed, and I stared at him, unable to speak. Mama opened her eyes wide. "Hello." The man nodded at me. "Okay, if I kneel next to you." Oh, is it okay if I kneel next to you? I'm sorry. By then, my voice had recovered. "Yes, sir." He kneeled and folded his hands. I realized I had made a mistake. I had assumed he would be mean, but I also realized something else. Change had already begun. Look at that, the end. Make a change and keep praying, Sasha. Love you, baby.